After Bethlehem and Mecca, we now move into exploring the world's largest dharmic religion, Hinduism. Mr. Anand Iyer and Mr. Vijay Gupta are with us today, and they will be performing and presenting. Anand Iyer has been practicing Bhakti Yoga, or the yoga of spirituality through devotion to God, for well over a decade. He teaches Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic texts in the Harrisburg area, where he lives with his wife and 3 kids. Anand is an engineer by profession and works as principal with Computer Sciences Corporation, where he helps the federal government design and build large and complex computer systems. Vijay is also an engineer by profession and works with Johnson Controls. Thank you, Anand and Vijay, for gracing us with your presence today. I request you both to take over.
We'll leave one microphone for this. Very grateful to have this opportunity to speak with all of you this morning and share some of our music. Can you turn on the PPT first slide? So we're going to start with a small song that we will sing. Very simple words to the song. The words of the song are Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, Krishna just means the most attractive one, and Rama means the reservoir of all pleasure. So these are 2 names of God. It's like we heard in the previous presentation, the amazing and awesome power of God, creation. So God manifests in many different ways to many different people, in many different cultures and religions. And Krishna and Rama are just 2 names of God. Krishna just means the most attractive one. The one who's the most merciful, the most beneficial, is also the most attractive. So that's the name of God, Krishna. And Rama just means the reservoir of all pleasure. So all the pleasure that we seek is residing in God, and that's the name Rama. So we'll just sing this short song. In the meantime, hopefully they'll get the technical difficulties sorted out, and then we'll have a short discussion also. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. see the chant you're singing, it's just 3 words. Krishna, the all-attractive one. And Rama, the reservoir of all pleasure. And Hare addresses the energy of God. And this simple chant just simply means, O Supreme Lord, O most attractive one, O reservoir of all pleasure, please engage me in your service. The only way that we can have universal brotherhood and love for all humanity is by developing love for God. So this simple chant enables us to understand that the supremacy of God, who is the most attractive one, and also the reservoir of all pleasure. And we pray to His energies to engage us in His service. So feel free to chant with us. I know there are some other musicians here, so if you feel like picking up your instruments and playing with us, we'd be very happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Thank you. Next slide. So I was asked to give a short talk on introduction to the Bhagavad Gita also. And of course, Bhagavad Gita is something that people have spent lifetimes actually trying to understand. So it's quite a challenge to, give a 5-minute introduction. And I was telling Yasser that somebody asked me to give a 1-hour talk, I'd be ready right now. But somebody asked me to give a 5-minute talk, I need to prepare for a week. So essentially, Bhagavad Gita explores 3 existential questions that humanity has, and Yasser referred to that earlier. So from the perspective of theological religions, the way the understanding is that ultimately, there's only one God. There's not a Muslim God, and a Hindu God, and a Christian God, and a Jewish God, and all these gods fighting among each other. That's certainly not a very evolved or when we talk about evolution, we also have to talk about emotional and intellectual evolution. And any society or group of thought leaders or philosophies that's evolved cannot think in these terms that there's my God and your God, and my God can beat up your God. That shows a level of immaturity that is inherent in some primitive cultures. But if you're talking to intellectuals in university, and people who are obviously very educated and so on and so forth, we believe that all of us have the intellectual capacity to understand things at a slightly higher level of consciousness as opposed to purely ritualistic and so on and so forth. Because the rituals may be different based on time, place, and circumstance, based on the cultural aspects and so many other things, but the purpose of religion has to be the same. Religion, regardless of what it is, has to have a single purpose. Its purpose is how to know God, how to love God. That is a simple understanding of religion. And the Bhagavad Gita specifically explores the existential questions that has been plaguing humanity since time immemorial. And the questions are essentially, who am I? Who am I really? Am I American? Am I Indian? Am I white? Am I black? Am I brown? So those are all designations. And it's based on where you happen to be born. Am I an engineer? Well, that's my profession. Is that who I really am? Had I chosen another profession, would I be a different person? So who am I really? So when we start asking these questions, who are you? Most people answer the question with designations, right? Say, okay, I'm Anand, or I'm John, or I'm Derek. That's your name. Is that who you are? And you say, well, I'm from so-and-so place. I'm from Harrisburg. That's where you're from. That's where you live. Who are you? Then you start thinking, that who am I really? And that question essentially is answered as the first topic of discussion in the Bhagavad Gita. That essentially we are living souls, we're spirit souls, and we're part of God. And we have the same quality to seek happiness. Every living entity, regardless of whether you're living in Millersville, or living in Harrisburg, or living in the big city, New York, or you're living in America, you're living in other countries, you're living in even extremely poor, war-torn countries. Like, we see on the news every day with the things happening in Syria. Even those people, everybody's seeking happiness. Nobody's seeking misery. Nobody gets up in the morning thinking that, okay, I'm going to seek misery. And I'm talking about normal people, not psychotic or neurotic people, but if you talk about normal people, the tendencies that we seek happiness. And so the tendency to seek happiness comes from the source of all happiness. And the Bhagavad Gita teaches us that the only way you can actually get true happiness is if you find the connection with God and love God. It's like, watering the root of a tree. A tree has many twigs, leaves, branches, flowers, fruits, and so on. The only way to water the tree is to water the root of the tree. You cannot really go and try to water each and every leaf and plant and twig and so on and so forth. Similarly, God, or Krishna as we call him in our tradition, Allah in the Islamic faith, there's so many different names of God. He's the root of that tree. And unless we water the root of the tree, there is no way to connect with all the twigs and the leaves and the flowers and so on and so forth. So the real service to humanity is actually service to God. And the Vedic scriptures, the Dharma scriptures that Yasser referred to, take that concept a little broader. So not only are human beings children of God, but all creatures are children of God. All living entities, be it plants, animals, so many other creatures, they're all children of God. And so the manifestation of love of God is actually manifest as compassion to others. So if you have love, and if you have no compassion, then that love has no meaning. If I love somebody, and if I have no compassion to the pain that they're suffering, then that love has no meaning. So the Vedic scriptures actually extend the concept of love beyond just people of a certain faith. It's not like I will love you only because you believe in what I believe, or I will love you because you happen to be another human being. The idea is that everyone is God's creatures. So we have no right to exploit any God creatures, not just other human beings. So the extension is what's started in the Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita answers three existential questions. First is, who am I? We explored that very briefly. The next question is, who's God? Is there a God? And who's God? And if there is a God who created us, then what is our relationship with God? Just like, when we go to school or go to work, we have a certain specific roles and responsibilities that we follow because we know who we are in that organization. If you're a professor, you have a certain role. If you're a student, you have a certain role. And you have a certain relationship with the organization and so on and so forth. Similarly, as living entities, as human beings, we run this world. It's not just random. It's not just by chance. We're here for a purpose. So unless we explore who are we and who is God and what is our relationship with God, it is impossible to find that elusive happiness that we're all chasing after. So with that I will stop. I'll end. We will be here for a little bit. We have some books and some other information that we can share. Can you go to the next slide, please? And we have an organization called the Institute of Higher Understanding. We're based in Harrisburg, and we run free yoga camps, meditation camps, and so on and so forth in Harrisburg. We also organize festivals in the city of Harrisburg and so on. Our website is www.iohu.org, and we'll be around. We'd encourage you to chat with us, and also we have some free literature that we can share. Be happy to do that, and we'll be around for answering any questions you may have. And once again, very grateful to Yasir and Millersville University and all of you for specifically getting up so early on Saturday morning to, people can sacrifice anything, but sacrificing sleep on a Saturday morning is the biggest sacrifice. So sincerely thank you all for getting up early in the morning and coming to this wonderful program. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.